The Many Origins of Scootaloo by Defender22. Chapter 21. Soren. Twilight groaned. It took all the strength she had to raise her foreleg to cover up her eyes. It felt as if her limbs were weighted down, but energy used to complete the task was worth it, as the action allowed her to block out more of the painful light that was attempting to drill into her brain via her eyes. Never had the unicorn felt so horrible. She would rather go 15 rounds with a manticore than suffer through the scourge known as a hangover. What? Let's see. Uh, well, look who's back among the land of the living, a masculine voice said gently. Twilight scowled. Didn't any pony know you weren't supposed to be cheerful at this time of day? Of course, she didn't know what time it was, but that didn't really matter. She attempted to roll away, only for two sets of hooves to quickly grab her and force her to remain on her back. Whoa, careful there! You already took a nasty fall once today. Here, drink this, a mirror on the other side of her said, gently pressing a vial to her lips. A hangover cure we use after a hard night of partying. Twilight's eyes nearly bugged out of her head, as she felt her skull was swelling and her horn was being yanked out. For 2.3 seconds, Twilight Sparkle knew what hell felt like. Then, she only knew bliss. Oh, she murmured happily. Yeah, that is best thing about being a Wonderbolt. Finally able to open her eyes without screaming, Twilight looked upon her company. Soren and Spitfire of the Wonderbolts. The two of them were out of costume, something Twilight was grateful for. She never had the heart to tell Dash how ridiculous the get-ups were, and watching over her, as if they expected her to turn into a phantom right there in front of her. Looking about her, Twilight realized from the start she was in Cloudsdale. It was easy to identify the city without even looking out the window. Only Cloudsdale used this type of cumulus clouds as part of its architecture. It was well known that San Francisco, for example, used thinner clouds to make up most of its buildings. Twilight's pupils shrank when she realized where she was, and that she didn't have Pegasus magic to keep her from falling all the way down to Equestria proper. Easy now, don't worry, Spitfire said, reading Twilight's panicked thoughts. Your mother cast a cloud-walking spell before she left you with us. I'm walking on clouds nine. Oh, I'm walking on clouds nine. Don't it feel good? Soren sang. Twilight and Spitfire shared a look, rolling in the air eyes in unison. Wait. Why did she leave me with you? Why not take me to Ponyville? Well, show me the way to go home. I'm tired, and I want to go to bed. Luna grunted, struggling to keep hold of Twilight's wriggling form. The unicorn was doing little to help the situation, as he was currently trying to perform the Lindy Hop while singing at the top of our heads. This wouldn't have been so bad if were not for the fact that they were nearly a mile off the ground. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it went straight to my head. Everybody now! Well, Twilight's a happy drunk. Who knew? Cadence stated. Title, Not Having Wings. It tells her to warp back to Canterlot via underground waterways, leaving the Goddess of the Moon and Love Princess to take care of the smashed unicorn. I'd almost prefer she were me drunk, Luna complained. Let's just drop her off on one of these clouds and let her sleep it off. Show me the way to go home. Aunt Luna, Cadence called out, as Luna dropped Twilight into the cloud, and discovered it was less of being on the cloud than through the cloud. My baby! Yeah, that sounds like my mom, Twilight grumbled. But that still doesn't explain me being here. After they managed to catch you, Princess Luna and Cadence realized there was no way they could get you safely back home, so they asked us to help her out. She cast a cloud-walking spell. Soren began to hum again, and Spitfire ignored him. And we decided to let you sleep off your buzz. We contacted one of your friends, and he'll come to pick you up and take you home soon. Good, Twilight muttered. I don't suppose I could just hide here for a few extra days. Soren shook his head. Spitfire only ruled out threesome. The yellow Pegasus rolled her eyes. He's been practicing his snappy comebacks ever since the princess has brought you here. Sounds like he could use more practice, Twilight stated. Spitfire chuckled as Soren pouted. So, what's eating you, Twilight? What do you mean? Spitfire shrugged. Only two reasons a pony gets as drunk as you were. They want to celebrate, or they want to forget. I know Peggy is a forgetting type, so something must have made want you to beat your brain cells until they couldn't get up from down. The unicorn sighed, burrowing just a bit further under the covers. Scootaloo. What's a Scootaloo? Scootaloo is a who, not a what. See, it's this little filly and... Author's note. Okay, we all know the drill, right? I mean, it's not like this is the first chapter this guy's doing the live reading of. If it what the heck is wrong with you? So we are just going to skip over the part where Twilight details the entire plot of the story. If you feel really cheated and want to rehash, just, I don't know, go reread the case chapter again. Now, then, where was I? But, Spitfire, are you sure Twilight want to join us? That would make it a threesome, Soren called out. Whoops, went a bit too far ahead. Let me just rewind this. Okay, I think I got it. A Sweet Taste of Cake by The Descendant. Oops, rewound the live reading too far. Okay, let me fix that. Spitfire raised an eyebrow as Twilight raised her tail, finished her tail low. A diaper? Twilight hung her head. Please don't make me go into any further detail. The point is, I'm getting rather tired of hearing Scootaloo stories. Scootaloo? Soren asked in glee. I know her horror story. Why didn't you say so sooner? Spitfire frowned. She has been saying it. She said the filly's name 10 times now in the past 8 minutes. Also, neither of us have met this Scootaloo. I'm pretty sure I remember she had, Soren said with a smirk. My memory's like a steel grate. Twilight blinked. Don't you mean trap? That too! The stallion grinned, puffing his chest out a bit. Yeah, I know all about Scootaloo, and I'll be happy to tell you all about her. Twilight whimpered. I'm good. Come on, let me tell my story. The Wonderful began to hop down, like Pinkie Pie on a trampoline. Luckily for Twilight, Spitfire was apparently one of the few ponies in Equestria that wasn't nuts. Soren, no. Twilight doesn't want to hear any more stories, and we aren't going to force her. The yellow mare helped Twilight out of bed. Come on. Let's get something in your stomach. Considering how much you threw up before we got you in bed, your tummy should be pretty empty. Soren just stared at the two as they trotted out the room. Well, I'm going to tell my story. We don't care, Twilight called out. You'll be sorry. No, we won't, Soren huffed. They're lost then. He hurried over to the desk that sat across from Spitfire's bed and hastily drew 2 crude images. One of Twilight and one of Spitfire. Heading back to the bed, the stallion happily taped each drawing to a pillow before clearing his threat. What's that? You changed your mind? Great. Now then, the secret origin of Scootaloo. High above Equestria, in the clouds that laid on the edge of Cloudsdale, an old Pegasus stallion carefully expected the scurrying Pegasus foal. The newborn let out squeals of protest as it was poked and jabbed by the elder. When she was born, like all Pegasi, she was inspected. If she was small or found to have any abnormalities, she would be discarded. The old stallion smiled. Never in all his years had he seen a Pegasus foal so strong, so well built, so noble in bearing. Clearly, this little filly was destined for great things. You will be a great leader, little Razor. Achoo! Razorwing squeaked as the stallion's hooves lost their grip on her, sending the foal falling to the ground below. Don't worry, she didn't die. All ponies in this story get are big boo-boos. Ooh, what is this icky bloody puddle doing here? Rarity called up from the ground below. I said, all they get is big boo-boos. Oh, crap. Butterhoofs, did you say something? The stallion supervisor trotted over, looking over respectfully. You said you had an amazing filly that was destined to be a leader. Where is he? Butterhose grabbed another orange foal and held it up. He is! Scootaloo! Next leader of the Wonderbolts! The little foal stuck her hoof in her mouth and sucked on it. Soren, please be quiet! I'm in my room, and I can do what I want, Soren complained. You are in my room, Spitfire hollered from the kitchen. You're just mad that Mom likes me better than you. Twilight blinked. I didn't know you two were better brother and sister. We aren't. My mom dislikes him better. Well, yeah, she's a bitch. When she was old enough, she was sent out into the wilds to prove herself. It would only be with her strength and cunning that she would be able to survive. Scootaloo paused, slowly backing toward the cliff, her eyes staring out into the darkness. Night had fallen upon Equestria, and now, when she was the most vulnerable, the snow was cold on her hooves, and wings fluttered slightly as she ever so carefully made her way along the rocky wall, searching for the small cracks she knew lay within. A snarl filled the air, and as the moon became free of the cloud cover, Scootaloo felt her heart race at the sight of her stalker. Its wooden limbs creaked as it slowly prowled toward her, the splinter-filled mouth hanging open to reveal sharpened teeth that wanted to make their home in her flesh. A Timberwolf, a foul beast from a darker age. How did it come to be here, none could say. The old beast had seen many winters, and believed this to be its last. Younger, stronger wolves had managed to snap up all the fresh meat, and left the old warrior with little. But now, its belly rumbling, its energy waning, the beast found a treat, an unsuspecting filly that would do quite well at filling its belly. Do quite well? Really, Soren? I thought you two didn't want to hear my story. We don't! So quiet down. We're trying to drink coffee and have a quiet, boring chit-chat that all mares have when they have coffee. We can't do that when you're telling loud, exciting stories! Scootaloo backed into the narrow opening in the cliff face, her hoof slowly racing down to grasp a long wooden staff. The Timberwolf snapped and snarled as he approached her hiding spot, dark eyes gleaming in the moonlight as it gazed upon its next meal. She knew what she had to do. The beast was mighty, and could easily tear her to shreds. But in this tight place, which isn't at all a metaphor for something she's going to encounter later in life, the beast's strength would mean nothing. It would be trapped against the rocky walls, bloated foam caught fast, and Scootaloo could, with a single thrust, end the wolf's life. Thanks for telling it my plan, jerk! Scootaloo shouted at the sky. Wait, what? My plan, genius. I had this entire thing planned out, and you just blabbed it out for all to see. No, it's okay. I'm just an narrator. No one heard me. I heard you, Scootaloo protested. So did I, the Timberwolf said. Wait, you can talk? Of course I can talk, the wolf complained. Everything in this country can talk. The cows talk, the sheep talk. Why wouldn't I talk? Well, I just assumed. And by the way, I don't appreciate you calling me old. I'm only 33. 33 is not old, Scootaloo nodded. So, not only are you a racist, you're weird too. Oh, Soren, I am so sorry for insulting your awesome story. Soren grinned as he held the Spitfire pillow up. It's okay. I understand completely. Listen, the pillow said. I have an idea. The Wonderbolt held the pillow to his ear, eyes widening. But, Spitfire, are you sure you want Twilight to join us? That would make it a threesome, Soren called out. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Twilight was doing her best to ignore the stallion. Should we do something? She said, listening to the bed begin to squeak. Spitfire took a sip of coffee. Nah, we'll just let him play a bit more, then I'll put him down for his nap. She sighed softly. He'll sleep well tonight. So, how does it feel to be the only sane Pegasus in Equestria? Twilight asked. The Wonderbolt captain shrugged. I don't think that's fair. I'm sure that there's a lot of oh my gosh, 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 oh my gosh. Twilight and Spitfire looked back in horror, staring at the window, which, at the moment, had a hyper-failing Rainbow Dash's face smashed against it. I take back my last statement. Chapter 22. Rainbow Dash.
Twilight Sparkle, you are charged with 20 counts of aggravated assault. How do you plead?
The unicorn looked about, utterly terrified at the sheer hatred she felt being directed her way. The dark courtroom made her feel as she was in the deepest Tartarus pit. I plead not guilty! I would never hurt a pony!
It is not the pony you are charged with hurting. The judge leaned forward menacingly. You are charged with assaulting tables.
No! No! Twilight cried out in horror. She looked at the judge. An oak end table that had a gavel in its front drawer, and a white powdered ring sitting on top of it, and began to beg for mercy. I never meant to hurt a single table! A liar! The library table cried out, its front leg wrapped in a cast. You assaulted me again and again, and that was after you let your baby dragon stand on me! You struck my baby! The large table cried out, clutching a sobbing sugar-cube corner table. Who would strike a baby? You're a monster! Twilight looked around the courtroom, trying to find some table that was on her side. Oh, kitchen tables and dark pine living room tables whispered hateful words from the jury box. Please, I promise I would never hurt any intelligent creature. She slammed her hoof down on the defense table before her. You have to believe me! I don't have it in me to hurt something that can feel!
Then why did you just strike our lawyer?
The judge demanded.
I was on your side!
The defense table whined, turning away from her.
Stay away before she strikes again!
A senior work table agreed. Wait! I made a mistake!
I have heard enough, the judge roared. Twilight Sparkle, your sickening crimes against table kind. I ruled that you will be turned into a table yourself, so that you may feel what we have suffered through.
No! Twilight screamed, suddenly finding her face stretched. It turned hard and flat as her legs were thinned. Her mane and tail disappeared as she was transformed into a simple dining room table. Oh, Cadence, I can't believe my sister would be so cruel. Shining Armor cried out in despair, not realizing the table he banged himself against was his sister. She has strayed our family name, and I don't think I'll ever live down the same. It'll be okay, my love. Cadence began to nuzzle him. Would it make you feel better if we did it right here on top of the table? Yes. Yes, it would. No! Twilight screamed in panic as Shining Armor threw his wife on top of her. It's me! It's me! Twilight, wake up! Twilight thrashed about as Rainbow Dash shook her. No! No, Cadence! Don't have sex on me! The unicorn blinked, realizing she was not a table and was safe inside Rainbow Dash's house. Just a bad dream. Must have been some dream. You're kind of doing that thing you do when you eat a brownie, only your nose wasn't flaring. Rainbow Dash tottered over to the wall. Now that you're awake, I want your opinion on something. She gestured towards a picture frame that hung on her wall. What do you think? What is that? Twilight asked. Spitfire's autograph. Amazing, right? Rainbow Dash took a few steps back to admire the framed parts of it that now hung on her wall. Dash, that's not an autograph. It's a restraining order. Twilight said gently, lying on her friend's couch. It says that you can't come within 20 feet of Spitfire or her house. The sign Pegasus shrugged. Hey, a win's a win. How's this a win? Twilight complained. Rainbow Dash showed no sign of having heard her. Do you think the frame captures the coolness of the autograph? Again, it's a restraining order. And no, it doesn't, because there is no coolness in having a restraining order placed on you for peeping! The flyer just laughed. You know, for some pony that dreams about Princess Cadence having sex on top of her, you're a bit of a prude. Nodding satisfaction, Rainbow left the framed corridor right where it hung and turned her attention towards her book's friend. So, Pinkie Pie and Rarity told me they've been pranking you about Scoots? Yes, they have. Unfortunately, the rest of the town is crazy and enjoys yanking my chain. Well, that's what you get for going to those lame brains. You honestly think any of them would know anything about anything? Before all this, I would have disagreed. Twilight muttered. Rainbow Dash puffed her chest. Gotta tell you, Twilight, I'm disappointed. You should have come to see me about Scootaloo first thing. She is my #1 fan after all. I didn't exactly set out to learn all about Scootaloo, Rainbow Dash. It just kind of happened, and by the time I decided to seek out some answers, I couldn't find you. The sign flyer flew up, placing her front hose on her hips and striking out a dramatic pose. Well, you don't have to fret anymore. Rainbow Danger Dash is going to clue you in. I thought your middle name was Miriam. Miriam is an ancient Pegasi word that means danger, Rainbow Dash said. Sure, it does, Twilight said, settling in for another story. So, what will it be? Will there be time travel involved? If there is, could she go forward instead of backwards? How would some pony go forward in time? Magic sword that sends her forward 70 years so she can defeat a Dark Lord, Twilight said simply. You have problems, Twilight. Doctor! Doctor! Nurse Red Hair called out, bursting into her boss's office. Come quick!
What's wrong? Did you finally discover a pony with a brain?
Dr. Grumpy House called. There's an emergency in the ER. Dr. House rolled his eyes.
That's usually why they call it an emergency room.
Doctor, please.
Fine.
House grunted, hauling himself up from his chair and limping toward the door.
But you are going to have to listen to me make snarky comments the entire way.
It's strange. I should hate Dr. House, but all I want to do is watch him for 8 seasons. House looked down at the mangled form of a small orange Pegasus filly, with a shock of purple hair and tiny wings. Her body was twisted and turned, vital fluids leaking from numerous wounds that littered her chest and limbs. A heart monitor showed that her pulse was very weak, and all around her, nurses were hurrying about to try and save her life.
What happened to her?
A freak weather system descended upon her while she was skipping in a field, Nurse Redheart said. She was caught in a cyclone and thrown 30 yards into a grove of trees. She has shrapnel near her heart and internal bleeding. It's a miracle she's still alive.
Who the heck skips through a meadow?
House asked. That is a very good question. Nurse Redheart thrust a few strands of hair out of Philly's eyes. Is there anything we could do to save her, Doctor?
Of course there is.
House exclaimed in annoyance.
We can rebuild her.
Rebuild her?
Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. Isn't that all right, Dr. Robotnik?
Oh, you know how to make me happy, don't you, Defender? A large Saint Pony Doctor nodded, his overly large mustache bobbing as he nodded in agreement.
Yes. And when she is turned into a cyborg, I will use her to get rid of those pesky hedgehogs that are infesting my garden.
Cluck.
On second thought, let's use magic.
Wow. This is weird. What's that, Twilight? Rainbow Dash asked. I said your story was weird. Well, you say that. I recently read an article on the latest editions of the Cadillac Trotter that talked about how science is progressing much faster than most ponies realize. There was this one stallion who thought that within 15 years we'll be able to surgically implant metal horns and wings on ponies to give them all the abilities of an alicorn. The texts were a bit sketchy, but... Twilight, why are you staring at me like that? Twilight's tongue hung loose, eyes nearly popping out of her skull. You read that article? Well, yeah, Dash stated. What's the big deal? You hate to read. No, I used to hate to read, and that was mainly because I found most books too pedestrian for my taste. Twilight tried to wrap her mind around the new information. This makes no sense. You are a jock, not a nerd. I'm both. I just don't rub ponies' noses in it. But you dropped out of flight school. Rainbow Dash nodded, giving Twilight an incredulous look. I kinda had to, if I wanted to attend at hoof art. I mean, I wasn't going to be able to get my doctorate if I focused on my flying all the time. Why do you think I had to work so hard to get into the Wonderbolts? You have a doctorate? The Cyan Mare stared at Twilight like she had lost it. Of course I do! I'm the head of the weather team, Twilight. Do you really think Princess Celestia would trust the weather of a town, even one as small as Ponyville, to a high school dropout? Dash gave her friend a smug smile. I am Dr. Rainbow Danger Dash. I have a PhD in weather sciences and a minor in aerodynamics. If one could have looked inside Twilight's brain at that moment, they would have found all the gears and electrodes shutting down one by one as her sisters tried to reboot. Now then, back to my story.
Scootaloo, can you hear me?
The orange Pegasus weakly opened her eyes to stare at the kind doctor who was kneeling down next to her. His mane was white and puffed up a bit. He had a snowy goatee that encircled his mouth. Who are you? The doctor smiled.
I am Dr. Cheeseflesh. Do you know what happened to you?
There was a storm, Scootaloo whimpered, as her wings twitched and sent a jolt of pain through her body. I don't remember anything.
You were badly hurt, Scootaloo. The doctors fear you may never walk again.
The filly began to cry, and Spice hurried to comfort her.
But Scootaloo, there is hope. I was commissioned by Princess Celestia to begin creating a new breed of pony. As you know, different breeds have their own special abilities. Pegasi can fly, unicorns can do magic, and earth ponies possess great strength. But Celestia wishes to create a fourth type, a pony whose special ability is awesomeness.
You're joking. Nope, that makes no sense. Who is the doctor here? Me or you? Fine.
We selected you to be the first test subject. We believe that by injecting you with pure awesome sauce, patent pending, your body will realize it is too cruel to be paralyzed and will heal itself.
That sounds amazing.
So will you do it?
Of course. Spice nodded.
Good, because we already put you in the machine.
What? Scootaloo exclaimed, finally realizing that she had been lying on a metal capsule. Dr. Spice moved back and slammed the hands down, locking her in.
We are going to inject you with some rich, delicious awesomeness that was donated us.
Spice began to turn some nozzles, and Scootaloo let out a pain as pure awesome was injected into her bloodstream.
We are at 50% awesome, 20% awesome, 25% awesome.
Princess Celestia, who had been observing the test from a sealed viewing room, nodded her head in approval. Doctor, you have done pretty well. This will be a new day for ponykind.
Thank you, Princess, for your faith in my research, and more importantly, the concentrated awesome you gave us. If I may ask, who was the donor?
A Pegasus by the name of Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo screamed as the chamber she was in began to buckle. Spice grew frantic.
No! Rainbow Dash is the most awesome pony in Equestria! My procedure was never designed for that much awesome to be put in such a pony!
The chamber burst open, and Scootaloo leapt out. But it was not the weak, broken filly that had been placed in there that had emerged. No, Scootaloo now stood as tall as the princesses, and her body was filled with huge, pulsing muscles. Her coat now was an emerald green, as she roared as she spread her massive wings.
Scorch Smash!
Scootaloo bellowed, grabbing a desk and throwing it out the window, using the opening to make her escape.
Scootaloo, a normal filly till she was bombarded with awesome. Now, whenever she is around awesomeness, a startling metamorphosis occurs. The monster is fooled by coolness, transforming whenever she is around too much awesome. She must keep moving town to town as she seeks a way to control the beast within.
Scootaloo, now once more a small orange filly, slowly hiked down the road. Several Pegasi flew overhead, but she did not look up. Her body was healed, but she could never risk flying again. It would be too awesome. Her destination was Ponyville, where she could hope to live in peace in a boring, totally uncool town. Sadly, one Rainbow Dash saw... Nope, sorry, that's enough. Oh, come on, Twi. I was just getting to the good part, Dash complained. I want to see the accreditation of the school that gave you a PhD, Twilight snapped. Are you saying I'm not smart enough to be a doctor? Not after that story. Rainbow huffed in the noise. Hey, it makes sense. That's why I can't show Scootaloo too much love or attention. If she's near my awesomeness, she'll transform. Your story is a lie, Rainbow Dash. A voice called out. Twilight and Rainbow Dash turned, eyes growing wide, as Princess Celestia strolled into the Cyan Pegasus' living room. For I know the true origin of Scootaloo, and it is time Twilight knew it.